約埋老 best 睇 Mission Impossible. It means watch Mission Impossible with your besties.
Good.
約埋
Okay, you help me.
約埋
You're my.
老 best
You're my low best.
睇
Thai.
Mission Impossible.
You're my low best Thai. Mission Impossible.
You nailed it.
How was it? Did I nail it?
Fantastic.
Okay, great teacher.
Yeah.
Great teacher. I want to be a
much.
good student. You know, McHugh and we just talked about it. I thought this is the moment that we can do this. And I wrote it down and then we just make a list of all the things that I need to do to learn.
As I'm from Hong Kong, I have to ask.
I
have to bring you back 25 years ago. You
John
made
Woo.
Mission
John
Impossible,
Woo.
right.
I
He's
know.
from Hong Kong,
I
our
know he
director.
is.
Do you have any special memories?
Many.
Your collaboration with him?
Many.
Hello， 大家好，歡迎收睇 The Do Show 訪談海外特別篇。事緣咧，早前收到 Paramount 電影公司嘅邀請咧，就嚟到 London 出席 Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning 嘅活動，咁可以同一眾嘅演員傾下偈。當中咧就包括有 Hayley Atwell、Simon Pegg、Pom Klementieff、Greg Tarzan Davis、Angela Bassett 同埋巨星當中嘅巨星 Tom Cruise。能夠同一班咁出色嘅演員近距離傾偈咧，相信大家同我都係非常之期待嘅。咁喺訪問之前咧，電影公司亦都安排我已經睇咗呢套 Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning 啦。咁訪問咧陣間就有得睇啦。直擊需要，識揀最重要。旅行容易屙嘔肚痛，加上而家啲天氣容易暑濕感冒，所以最緊要就係隨身帶住京都念慈庵科學中藥系列嘅藿香正氣散。嚴選天然草本，用低溫真空技術提煉，去除雜質，濃度精準，保留療效。果粒沖劑更容易被腸胃吸收，即沖即飲好方便。識揀京都念慈庵科學中藥，直擊你需要。It is a pleasure to meet you. I've been a fan of yours forever. So this is really a dream come true for me.
Thank you.
I saw your film last night. It was fantastic. I was blown away from many scenes. But I have to ask you about the plane sequence. Yes. How did you put it off?
I still don't know. Look, when I was a little kid, I saw wing walking. There was black and white footage, and I was on a television. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I don't know how old I was very little. And I looked at it, I was like, what's happening when I saw that? And there's music on it, and it was a silent kind of images. And it's something that I have always wanted to try. Mm-hmm. So if you look at me, I will do something, and then I'll, like I did the aerial in Top Gun, and then I try to improve it, and see how can I study aerial photography, evolve aerial photography. Mm-hmm. So I became an aerobatic pilot. I fly jets. I fly many different kinds of airplanes. I fly parachutes. And so if you look at, you see American Made, and then Fallout, and then Top Gun Maverick. This is the development of aerial photography that I've worked on for over 30 years. And it's led to also this sequence. Mm-hmm. So I parachute. I'm a professional parachutist and stunts. And, McHugh and we just talked about it. I thought this is the moment that we can do this. And I wrote it down, and then we just make a list of all the things that I need to do to learn, to develop, to do a sequence like that. And I had hoped to be able to go 0G through the plane, and we chose those airplanes, and I spent a lot of time figuring them out. These airplanes are 80 years old. Mm-hmm. And when you see the early aerial walking, the engines were did not have the same kind of power. They were slower. And so the wing walking was very different than what we do today. And then we just kept evolving it and practicing. And I taught the pilots how to fly me on the plane, and I had to figure out how I had to do it. And we just figured it out step by step.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ethan is fearless, but do you, Tom, do you have any fear? Are you afraid of anything?
Well, I think, it's interesting. The one thing is that I do think that Ethan does feel fear. He is vulnerable. And when I work with, different people that come on, I say, look, he very much doesn't necessarily want to do the things he does. He's forced into it. To climb the Burj, he has to do it. The aerial sequence, he has to do it to try to accomplish his goal. So it's not a matter of they're not afraid or I'm not afraid. For me personally, it's just I don't mind being afraid. I don't mind feeling it. I am not concerned about it. It's another emotion, and it's something that the unknown, we can fear the unknown, or we can just start to make the unknown known.
As I'm from Hong Kong, I have to ask,
I
I have to bring you back 25 years ago. You
John
made
Woo.
Mission
John
Impossible, right.
I
He's
know.
from Hong Kong,
I
our
know he
director.
is.
Do you have any special memories,
Many.
your collaboration with him?
Many. He's someone that I greatly admire, and I was very grateful that he came on to make this film, and it was such a pleasure working with him. First of all, he's an incredible artist, a very kind man, and also a great chef. I don't know if you know that about John Woo. Great chef. So he would take me, it was always like, I like food, he likes food. So we also, to be able to go to restaurants together, and he would always order for me, as we're going in, and the time that we spent when we brought the film to Hong Kong, And I remember Hong Kong's very special to me because I went there for the first time right after I finished filming Born on the 4th of July. And then again, I went with John Woo, to spend time with him there while we were promoting the film. And I have to say, just developing the film with him and his storytelling and the things that he was interested in interested me very much.
You have a lot of fans in Hong Kong. I think they will be thrilled if you promote your film in Cantonese. Can you do that? You want to try?
You're going to have to help me.
Of course,
please,
of course.
Please, you help me.
Of course. I always wanted to say that. Should you choose to accept? Tom?
Yes, help me.
Okay. There's two. The first one is easy, just
Good.
to make you at
Give
ease.
me the easy one.
Okay. Look at the camera and say, Mission Impossible, hold firm. It means Mission Impossible, affirmative.
Okay, give me-
Mission Impossible, hold firm.
Hold firm?
Hold firm.
Hold firm?
Hold firm.
Mission Impossible? Hold firm.
Good. One more, please.
Please.
This is a bit tricky.
Okay.
More Cantonese. 約埋老 best 睇 Mission Impossible. It means watch Mission Impossible with your besties.
Good.
約埋
Okay, you help me.
約埋
You're my
老 best
low best.
睇
Thai.
Mission Impossible.
You're my low best Thai. Give it to me again.
約埋老 best 睇
You're
Mission.
my low best Thai. Mission Impossible.
You nailed it.
How was it? Did I nail it?
Fantastic.
Okay, great teacher.
Yeah.
Great
thank
teacher.
You so
I
much. Thank you so
want to
much.
be a good student.
Hello, Hayley. I'm from Hong Kong. My name's Dudu Chan.
Hello.
And I must say, you look beautiful on screen and you are stunning in person.
Oh, thank you.
So let's talk about Mission Impossible 8. Grace is one of the few characters who has outsmarted Ethan Hunt. Do we have more of this kind of dynamic in Mission Impossible 8?
I think with Grace in the first half, it's the film previous to this one, she's trying to get away from Ethan Hunt because she doesn't trust him because she doesn't trust anyone. She's very much a lone wolf and she's a survivor in a state of hypervigilance. And then in this one, she's joined the team. So she's using her intelligence to be on the side of Ethan Hunt. And I don't want to say any more than that, so I want the audience to go and see it and see what happens.
That's fine. And how does joining the Mission Impossible universe compare to other major franchises that you've been part of?
I think, I have a classical theatre training background, and that foundation work that I've done for the last 20 years has been about developing a work ethic that then I can apply to any job that I'm doing. So the approach is the same, which is to turn up and be present and to create a rapport with the group of people that I'm working with, and to be part of a shared vision to create a story for the audience. So in this film, a lot of it was about finding the physicality of Grace and finding the nuance and subtlety of character in between the lines of dialogue. So feeling that she felt fully formed and that she had nuance.
Grace feels like a character who can have her own spin-off. Would you consider exploring that?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I've loved playing her for the last 5 years, in part because the people I got to work with were so, we had a shared value system of believing in the kind of the intensity of the work that we needed to do, and being able to work with someone like Tom Cruise, who is, you know, an unparalleled producer and movie star. I found that so inspiring. I'd find it really hard to play Grace without Tom. As much as I love her, for me, the experience was I got to be on the receiving end of working with Tom for 5 years, and that was the great privilege.
But if you do have a spin-off, what would your first mission would be? Can you imagine?
My goodness. I mean, how can you even top anything that Ethan Hunt's already done? I loved that Grace was someone who, she had vulnerability, and she was sort of making it up as she goes along. And I do think that she's very much part of the, she sort of represents the audience. The audience are watching aspects of the film through her eyes. So I thought that there was although she's kind of enigmatic, I also felt that there is something that feels quite relatable about who she is as a person.
So after working on these films, have you picked up anything that you can do in real life, like fighting, driving, stunts?
Yeah, I mean, when we started filming, even in the audition, they said, we don't have a character or a script in mind. We're looking for an actress that we want to work with, who understands this process, and then we will collaborate together and create the character with them. So I love that idea. Again, it reminds me of, you know, working in theatre, where you're trying lots of ideas out to see what works best for the audience. And so in the training, it was also where my natural abilities were, what I seemed to naturally enjoy doing. And for me, it was sleight of hand tricks, fast things with my hands, and drifting in the car. And then also, I loved being in the Arctic. I found the cold to be so invigorating, and I felt very, it was like such clean air. I felt very awake. And so, you know, those things kind of combined to create the Grace that we see.
You shoot in so many locations. Which one stood out for you?
The Arctic. As I said, there was something so beautiful about being in a landscape that was so remote. There were very few human beings. We met a polar bear instead that walked through our set while we were filming. And I think there was just like it felt in no other way would I be able to go somewhere like that had it not been for a Mission Impossible film.
Nice to see you in person. I've been following your work for a very long time. You're truly a great actress.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So let's talk about Mission Impossible. Sloane seems to operate in a morally complex space. So in part 2, does she lean towards to help Ethan or be an obstacle to him?
I absolutely an ally. But she can't make that known to maybe those around. And I think an ally, because she's trusting and leaning on her instincts about who he is, what he's been. I mean, cautiously. We have to, you know, in parts that they have to work together. But we also have to trust each other, maybe each other's best option to make it across the finish line together.
So what was it like working with Tom Cruise and the director, Christopher McQuarrie? Did their unique approach to filmmaking influence your performance in any way?
I would say it did. You know, you got an opportunity to really, you know, play around with the subtleties within the scene. You know, just... And I like that, having those options available to you, because so many times in filmmaking you feel like you get, you know, maybe one or two, shots at it, and then you're like the next day or the next week, a little regret that you missed this idea comes to you like, here's a thought that didn't occur at the time,
Then what did you do then? Did you ask for a reshoot or what?
No, I wouldn't ask for a reshoot. We just spend all the time that we need on that particular day. So, maybe I come in and I face Tom and I pull back. Or maybe one time I come in and I'm very, forceful and outward with it, or in just playing with those different levels. And we all got the opportunity to do that.
You've portrayed strong characters, female characters, like in Black Panther, like in this Mission Impossible. What draws you to a role?
Oh, I love a strong woman, a capable woman, a smart, a vulnerable woman, someone who, is there to serve and makes things better when she's on set. And sometimes you have to, say no to the ridiculousness, or to the bias or whatever.
I saw the movie last night, and you were great in it. A lot of intense moments, huh? A lot of headshots. So you have to control it really, really good. Otherwise, it will overact.
Yes, yes.
My first question is for Simon.
Yes.
You've been with this franchise for
20 years.
20 years? My God. Benji has evolved from a comic relief character into someone who often holds the team together. What is your role this time in Mission Impossible 8?
I think Benji's just grown up. I really appreciate McHugh in his writing for evolving Benji the way he has, because he hasn't just stayed the same. He's not the same person in every film. He always changes in some way. Just he grows up, or he's had more experience. His first day in the field was in Ghost Protocol, and he's like a puppy. He's really excited. He wants to wear a mask. Everything's kind of a joke, Whereas by the time we get to Final Reckoning, he's seen some stuff. He's been through. He's had people try to kill him. He's killed people himself. He's grown up a lot, and he's finally in a position where he can take responsibility for other people and have them under his sort of leadership, which I felt like a nice journey.
That's great. For an actor, of course.
Yeah,
huh?
absolutely.
For Pom, your character Paris, she has a very distinct look and her fighting style. I know you studied martial arts for a very long time. Did you bring any of your own ideas to shape her character?
I mean, not for a very long time, but I've trained in like an intensive way, I would say, I was training even before getting cast for the movie because it was my dream to be in Mission Impossible. So I was training with Jason Noviello, who taught me how to punch, how to kick. And for this movie, I got to do like the kicks that I really wanted to do that I was already training 4 years ago, like an axe kick, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. That one.
Yeah, it was really fun. And and also kicks are much harder to do because, it's like throwing a baseball bat and like, controlling and trying to not hit the person. And unfortunately, I hit Shay once in the head, and I feel horrible about it.
Did you get hurt?
No, he got hurt, which is even more horrible. I'd rather get hurt myself, I don't mind getting hurt, but it's just like, but shit happens, when you fight, and we do the thing over and over, and there's like the camera changes place, and then you have to change the angle, and sometimes you have to be closer to the subject that you're supposed to hit but not hit, and sometimes it happens, unfortunately. I was mortified.
And
Sorry,
Brad,
Shay.
your character, Daiga, he's really stood out in Mission Impossible 7. For part 2, have your character evolved? And will he be more involved in the IMF world?
Yeah, in Dead Reckoning, Degas was a subordinate to Briggs, which is Shea Wigham's character, who she knocked out. Unfortunately.
Wait, I kicked you too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Tarzan, she kicked you too.
Broken ribs.
But I was supposed to have contact with you for that one. It was a push kick.
She just gave 100%.
But I love the chemistry between you two.
Yeah, it's a love-hate thing, and she hated me the day we were filming that scene because I had bruises all up and down. Ouch. No, but
You're tough.
No, sometimes.
It was like kick and then it was like
You got
hug.
a core of
trying to
steel,
take-
man. Come on.
Sometimes.
You can take it.
They got was following behind Briggs' character, and then in this one we see him actually like be on his own 2 feet and join the IMF team and help try to save the world.
This question is for all of you. Director Christopher McQuarrie
He
is
stinks.
known for known for adapting the script during filming. Were there any major changes during filming that surprised you?
It's kind of, I mean, McHugh has the story, the basic story in his head before we start shooting. And then, we shoot the big set pieces because we know what they're going to be. They take a lot of planning. And then basically what happens is the actual dialogue, the minutiae of the script, that evolves as we go. So we'll get scenes. McHugh always says he lets the locations tell him the story. So it wasn't like anything changed particularly because nothing was set in stone from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, and we bring like personal ideas to have this obsession with using a flask. I wanted to drink out of a flask, like in cowboy movies. I love horses. I said that so many times. I want to manifest a horse movie. Thank you. And so I was obsessed with this flask. I was like, okay, yeah, you can drink with this flask. I thought it was cool. So I did that, and then it was perfect to use for the scene that I have with Simon, So I used the flask, I mean, I'm not going to reveal too much, but, sometimes someone has an idea and then it becomes something else and it helps the story in some ways,
It's so great to meet you all.
It's
and
been a pleasure.
Have a good one.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning 嘅訪問咧就已經係做完啦，咁講下我嘅感想先啦嚇。咁今朝咧我哋咧就訪問咗女主角啦 Hayley 啦，有3位咧就Simon 啦、Pom 啦同埋 Greg 啦，咁仲有咧就Angela 嘅。咁佢哋每一位俾我嘅印象咧都係非常之好嘅，因為好用心去答我哋啲問題啦，好真誠咧個態度，咁樣但係又帶啲幽默感啦咁樣。咁然之後到晏晝咧，我哋先至係訪問 Tom Cruise 嘅。咁當然咧，我係有一個好大嘅期待啦，真係睇咗佢咁多年嘅戲啦 ，Mission Impossible 睇咗咁多套啦，係咪？咁所以咧就一直好期待，好期待，等到咧真係入去嗰個訪問室咧，見到佢嘅真人。我要同你講，佢係靚仔1萬倍，即係上鏡已經係好好啦。但係真人咧，你見到佢係好 charming 啦，見到你係滿面笑容啦，就即刻有握你嘅手啦，就好小心，即係因住個報警啊，呢度有一個 step 啊咁樣，好 gentleman。咁同埋咧，當中有好多 small talk 啦，咁佢都知道噶啦，人咧都係希望同佢影張相噶啦，咁樣佢教你應該點樣企咁樣。咁影完之後，我哋開始個訪問咧咁。佢係答得好善知啊！咁樣佢係好用心去答每一條問題。咁大家要知道呢啲 press junket 咧係有幾十位嚟自世界各地唔同嘅 KOL 啊，或者係主持人同佢係做一個訪問嘅。咁所以咧佢每一位咧都係咁用心去答。咁尤其是咧就係講廣東話啦嚇，咁樣佢好樂意去做啦。咁呢個我好 impressive 嘅。咁仲有咧就係。訪問完之後咧，佢過嚟攬我，同埋咧就係同我有啲 small talk。咁佢話好多謝我咧，就提起 John Woo， 因為佢咧都好掛住佢。佢話佢都好掛住香港嘅觀眾嘅，希望咧有機會咧係可以嚟。所以咧做咗呢個訪問咧，我嘅得着咧就係中意佢10萬倍啊！希望咧大家咧睇呢個訪問咧，就好似我做呢個訪問咧一樣睇得咁開心。喺度咧就係要多謝 Paramount 電影公司咧安排我哋 The Do Show 咧做呢個獨家嘅 Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning 嘅訪問。咁當然睇完訪問之後咧，大家咧就要記得去捧場啦。咁5月17號咧就係有優先場嘅，5月22號咧就正式上映啦。咁我而家咧就要同大家 say bye bye 啦，記得咧多啲 like 啦、comment 咧、share 同埋 subscribe 我哋嘅 Do Show。下次再見，拜拜。屙牛肚痛，識揀最重要。屙牛肚痛，離胎又白又厚，識揀京都念慈庵藿香正氣散，科學中藥成分，直擊你需要。屙嘔濕重急急沖，京都念慈庵藿香正氣散。